Each day begins with a choice, a quiet yet powerful decision that shapes the direction of our lives. The daily formula for a winning life reminds us that a fulfilling and purpose-driven life is not the result of grand, sweeping actions, but the steady application of simple principles, repeated with intention, clarity, and faith. This book is not just a guide, it is a mirror, gently asking us to pause and look within, to consider who we are becoming through the small decisions we make every day. At its core, this book offers a timeless truth. Success is not an event but a rhythm, a formula that, when followed daily, awakens the very best within us. It doesn't promise quick fixes or shortcuts. Instead, it encourages discipline, clarity of purpose, and emotional honesty. Each chapter is a quiet whisper, calling us back to ourselves, back to what truly matters. The message is clear: your future is hidden in your daily routine. The formula begins with intentionality. The book invites us to start each morning not in haste or distraction, but in stillness. The author speaks about the power of morning rituals, not as trendy habits, but as sacred beginnings. Whether it's prayer, meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in gratitude, these early hours offer a moment to align with one's deepest values before the noise of the world begins. One story shared is of a young entrepreneur who, after years of chasing success through long hours and relentless hustle, finally discovered peace and focus through a simple practice, spending 20 minutes each morning in quiet reflection, asking himself not, "What do I have to do today?" but, "Who do I want to be today?" That small shift changed his entire trajectory. It helped him center his decisions around character rather than just outcomes. Intentional mornings became the compass that guided his actions. The second element in the formula is clarity of purpose. Without a vision, we drift. The book challenges us to define what a winning life actually means to us, not based on societal standards, but rooted in personal truth. It urges the reader to write down their vision for life, career, health, relationships, and spirituality. This is not just about goal setting. It's about soul setting. One of the most moving parts of the book is the story of a woman who survived a painful divorce and years of self-doubt. She reclaimed her life by crafting a personal mission statement, something she read every day to remind herself that she was not a victim of her past but a co-creator of her future. That daily repetition reprogrammed her beliefs, and over time, her choices began to reflect a powerful new identity, one grounded in self-worth, faith, and service. Next in the formula comes discipline and consistency, the often uncomfortable, yet essential ingredients. The book speaks to the quiet power of showing up, doing the work, especially on days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Here, the author draws a clear distinction between motivation and commitment. Motivation is fleeting, commitment is rooted in character. He shares the story of a marathon runner who trained for months, through cold mornings and aching muscles, not because she felt inspired every day, but because she had made a promise to herself. She saw the finish line every time she tied her shoes. Her story reminds us that showing up, even imperfectly, builds trust with oneself. And that self-trust becomes the bedrock of a winning life. Another key element is emotional mastery. Life will test you. There will be seasons of loss, betrayal, setbacks, and doubt. But how you respond, how you choose to feel, to frame the experience, determines your growth. The book doesn't advocate for toxic positivity. Instead, it invites us to feel deeply and honestly, and then to move forward with wisdom. It teaches that emotions are messengers, not dictators. The author recalls a mentor who told him during a difficult season, "You don't have to believe every thought you think." That one line shifted his relationship with fear and insecurity. By learning to observe his inner dialogue with compassion rather than judgment, he reclaimed his inner power. The message is clear: emotions are a part of us, but they do not define us. Mastery is not suppression, it is awareness and choice. One of the most transformational ideas in the book is the concept of micro-wins, small victories that compound over time. It's easy to chase after monumental achievements, to wait for life-changing breakthroughs. But the author reminds us that the real victories lie in the daily acts of courage, choosing to eat clean when it's easier to order fast food, speaking kindly when you're tempted to criticize, staying true to your word even when no one is watching. These small wins may seem insignificant in isolation, but collectively, they shape your identity. They whisper to your soul, "You are becoming someone worth believing in." The book also highlights the necessity of guarding your environment. Just as a plant cannot thrive in toxic soil, you cannot grow in a toxic environment. The people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, and the places you frequent, these shape your mindset more than you realize. One man's story illustrates this perfectly. He realized that his constant feelings of inadequacy were largely due to comparing himself to curated images on social media. He chose to take a 30-day detox, during which he replaced online scrolling with books, nature walks, and real conversations. The transformation was remarkable. He became more present, more confident, and more grounded. The book encourages us to be intentional gatekeepers of our mental and emotional space. What you allow in will eventually grow. Then comes the often overlooked ingredient: service. A winning life isn't just about personal achievement, it's about impact. The formula teaches that fulfillment comes not from accumulation, but from contribution. One chapter shares the story of a retired executive who found new purpose volunteering at a local shelter. He once measured his life by profits and promotions. Now, he measures it by smiles and stories. His journey is a reminder that we are wired for connection. Serving others doesn't mean sacrificing your dreams, it means expanding them. A life that blesses others is never empty. Perhaps the most powerful lesson of the book lies in its insistence on daily reflection. Without reflection, we repeat. With reflection, we refine. The author suggests a simple evening practice, asking yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? What am I grateful for? This daily check-in is not about shame or regret. It's about learning and evolving. When we reflect, we bring meaning to our experiences. We see patterns. We catch limiting beliefs before they harden into habits. We acknowledge growth, no matter how small. And slowly, we become more conscious, more intentional, more awake. In the end, the daily formula for a winning life doesn't give us a map, it gives us a compass. It doesn't promise that life will be easy, but it assures us that life can be deeply meaningful when lived with integrity, vision, and presence. The formula is not rigid, it's personal. It's not a checklist to impress others, but a lifestyle to fulfill your soul. You are not what you've done. You are what you do, daily. Each morning you rise is a new invitation to write a better story. Each choice you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. And while the world may shout for instant results, this book gently reminds us that greatness is built in silence, in the unnoticed, in the daily. So breathe, begin again. Choose well today, not because it guarantees ease, but because it builds character. You already have within you what it takes to live a winning life. And if you follow this formula, not perfectly, but faithfully, you'll not only win the day, you'll win your life.